Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing my April wrap up, and I know it's a little bit late, but that is because I have just moved, hence a different background. But I had to set up all my bookshelves and everything, and I had to find the books that I had read in April before I could film it, so I've finally done that, so that's why this video is late, so I am sorry. So after I've finished making excuses, let's just get straight into what I read in April. The first book I read was Shadow Study by Mary V. Snyder, finishing off for now the Poison Study series by her. I can't get into too much detail on what this book is about because it'll spoil other books in the series. However, I did do a book review on this book, which will be out very soon, hopefully. It was filmed back when I hadn't moved, so it'll be a different setting, but you know what, so what. So yeah, if you would like to hear my full thoughts on it, you can check out my book review when it's up. But just know that I liked it and I gave it 4 stars out of 5. Next is a book that I don't have here with me, and it is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, and I also rated that book 4 out of 5 stars. I don't have it with me because I borrowed it from the library because I wasn't sure if I would like it or not, which you would know if you've watched my library book haul, which I posted, which I'll leave a link to down below. And I've also done a review on this one, which will be out shortly. But yeah, I really liked it. It wasn't what I was expecting, and I loved that I was intrigued and just wanted to know what would happen next. It's basically about a husband's wife who goes missing one day, and the husband is mainly the prime suspect in this case, and you get to see parts from the husband and parts from the wife's diary. It's a very intriguing novel full of mystery and wondering and suspense, and wondering what the hell is happening in this book and where did the wife go, what happened to her, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The next book is a book that again I don't have here with me because I borrowed it from the library, which is in my library book haul, and it is The Last Day of Term by, I can't remember who by, so you can check out my library book haul if you want to see who it was by. But I rated it 2 stars. It was an average book. I found the book to be dreary at points and uninteresting. I felt a lot of it was just not needed and unnecessary to the actual plot. It told the story throughout a single day, which was interesting, but the characters for the most part were just unlikable and not in a good way. I didn't really feel anything for them when, you know, you're obviously meant to be feeling something for them, and I just felt like I couldn't. There was no one there that I could really relate to either, and it just wasn't my type of book. After that, I wanted something completely different, so I picked up Dreamtime Alice, a memoir by Mandy Sayer. This is a book that a friend lent to me, and I have read it, and I actually like this one, and I gave it 3 stars. It's a memoir about a lady named Alice who used to live in Australia, but then went to New York and tried to make it big, like tap dancing on the street with her father. Now, most of the memoirs I read are memoirs like about like child abuse and murders and really bad stuff basically, and I was really surprised when nothing bad happened in this book because it's not the type of memoir that I normally read. However, I really did like it. I found it was interesting hearing about this type of culture and life that Alice lived. It wasn't something that I would read again, but I'm happy that I did read it. It gave me insight into what this type of life can be like. After that, I read Girls Like You by Paul Sheehan, which is again a book that a friend lent me, so these books will be returned. And it is about a gang rape that happened here in Australia, where these 4 brothers raped all these different young Australian girls. This book was really intriguing and sad also about how the legal system treated these young girls that had been raped in the court. And it was also made apparent why people don't speak up about this sort of thing, why they just let it brush under the covers when something like this happens to them. After all they went through for the outcome, I can see why they would have thought it wasn't worth it, and that's sad, but it's harshly the truth at the minute, and it's why many rape victims don't speak out right now. It's a traumatic thing to live through, but then to spend 5 years in court re-encountering it and going through all these tough questions and being treated like you are guilty somehow for what happened to you is just a horrible thing that no one should have to go through. It was very interesting anyway, and I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. And the last book I read is again a book that the friend lent me, and it is And the Mountains Echoed by Kelly Hosseini, which I probably pronounced wrong, and I'm so sorry about that. This is a book that I wouldn't have picked up myself. However, I am so glad that I did. I rated it 4 stars. I absolutely loved it, and I want to buy a copy for myself. All the books that I've read this month apart from Shadow Study are books that I don't own, and this is the only one that I really want to own and add to my collection. It's told throughout generations and continents, where these generations of family go through all this different stuff, and they move from where they were originally born to different places all throughout their generations, And it's a really intriguing, beautiful novel, and seeing how all the characters come together is just beautiful. I went into this book thinking I wouldn't like it. However, in the first chapter, I'm pretty sure it tells a story, which is a father telling a story to his 2 children. And after that story was told, I knew right then and then that I absolutely loved the book. The story was beautiful and intriguing and insightful, and I just loved it. As this book is told throughout generations, you don't get to stick with one character for very long, but even then all the characters are compelling and intriguing and interesting, and enough character development that you get to know about them and can feel for them, hurt for them, say, hang on, you're doing something wrong here. And the characters that this person has created is just wonderfully beautiful. I'll read you the blurb of this book, which I normally don't do, but just so you can get to know what the story is really about, because I feel like I can't do this story justice. Afghanistan, 1952. Abdou and his sister Pari lived in a small village of Shadabar. To Abdou, Pari, as beautiful and sweet-natured as a fairy for which she was named, is everything. More like a parent than a brother, Abdou will do anything for her, even trading his only pair of shoes for a feather for a treasured collection. Each night they sleep together in their cot, their heads touching, their limbs tangled. One day the siblings journey across the desert of Gabaloo with their father. Peri and Abdou have no sense of the fate that awaits them there, for the event that which unfolds will tear their lives apart. Sometimes a finger must be cut to save the hand. Crossing generations and continents, moving from Gabaloo to Paris to San Francisco to the Greek islands of Tinus, Khalid Hosseini writes about the bonds and that defines us and shapes us our lives, and how the choices we make resonate through history. Obviously, I mispronounced so many words there, and I'm really sorry about that. But hopefully you get a better understanding on what this book is about. And again, it's not a book that I myself personally would have picked up, but I absolutely fell in love with it. So if it sounds just vaguely interesting to you at all, or if you see it in a library or a bookstore and you're slightly intrigued, I would highly recommend picking it up, because it was just beautifully fantastic. So overall, I only read 6 books in the month of April, which for me is a very, very small amount, but I moved this month. My poppy passed away this month. A lot of stuff happened this month, and I just wasn't really in the reading mood as much as I normally would have been. However, I do plan to pick it up again this month, but yeah, this last month just wasn't a right headset of me to read a lot in. I also had assignments due like crazy, so, and they're still due, so someone please save me from the assignments. I would love to know what your favourite read was in the month of April. Mine would have been Gone Girl, but after I read And the Mountains Echoed, that is definitely my new favourite book of the month. And like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you'd like to see more book related videos from me, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye!